Hi everyone, welcome back to the Prologue to Wellness podcast, the podcast where we believe women deserve healthcare that sees them clearly and supports them fully. I'm Cheryl, your host, and today's episode shines a light on one of the most overlooked connections in women's health, the link between pelvic floor health and menopause. You've probably heard about hot flushes and mood swings, but what about bladder leaks? Or a feeling of heaviness down there, or pain during intimacy? These are not random symptoms, they are rooted in pelvic floor changes that are often triggered by declining estrogen. To help us unpack all of this, we are joined by Dr. Sue, who brings a compassionate clinical lens to this often misunderstood topic. Let's define the pelvic floor first, Dr. Sue.
Okay, so when we talk about pelvic floor is actually a group of connective tissue, muscles that it's like a hammock, it's like a sling, right, that joins the front of the pubic bone to the back of the tailbone. So what it does is the pelvic floor actually holds the uterus, the bladder, and also our
rectum.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So as we age, right, so the pelvic floor loses its elasticity because our estrogen level also goes down, and it causes these organs to what we call prolapse. It becomes like heavier kind of feeling, and then we have like a few symptoms also.
Okay, so these muscles are actually quite important. They're holding like three very important organs. And what are like maybe the first signs of like weakening of the pelvic floor?
Okay, so I think it's a very, very common symptoms, but you know, a lot of women, I am sure a lot of women actually experience this. The most commonest one is the urinary incontinence. So just say for example you cough, because of the weakness of the pelvic floor muscles, then you leak. You have a leakage and things like that. Then the other thing is like, you know, nowadays a lot of people are going to the gym.
Yes.
So when you carry heavy weights and things like that, it also can cause
the pelvic floor to weaken if you are not like...
if it's not strong, you know, it's weakened.
Okay. I think usually pelvic floor health is kind of like there's a barrier there. Like people may not always raise that they have issues because maybe it's like embarrassing, they're shy. When is it something that is a medical concern?
Okay, you are right. I mean, I've worked in this line for many years, and I am quite happy to know that now we are really bringing this awareness out, because I feel that a lot of women are very shy, embarrassed to see the GP or the doctors or health professionals about this problem, because it's a sort of stigma or taboo, and then they always like associate pelvic floor with menopause or perimenopause. They try to avoid this thing, but I think instead of avoiding this issue, they should try to get help. And I think, right, if you wait too long, when the organ is really prolapsed outwards, and then you're having this urinary incontinence practically most of the time, instead of just like coughing or sneezing, then I think that would be quite severe already.
So I guess when you have the first sign, when you cough and you find that I'm leaking, that's probably a sign that you should already kind of do something about it, right?
Yes.
To prevent.
The other thing is like, okay, so usually this group of women, they're maybe in their early 40s, late 40s, even early 50s. But then I would like to advise like women who are in the early stages, haven't reached the perimenopause, also to like have some sort of prevention techniques, for example, like exercises, Kegel exercises to help to strengthen the pelvic floor before it weakens. So these are the things that I think women should know about it before they reach.
Before it happens, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and earlier you explained a little about menopause and how it affects the pelvic floor, which is really to do with estrogen.
Yeah.
What happens actually?
So as you know, when we menopause, the two biggest hormones that is reduced is the estrogen and also the progesterone. But estrogen is the one that it helps with elasticity.
I see.
Right? And then so if your elasticity is reduced, then the pelvic floor muscle gets weakened. So that's the reason why when a lot of women, when they hit menopause, then they notice that maybe this problem is a little bit more severe, a little bit more obvious, I would say.
Okay. So because estrogen especially is, it drops, but it's also responsible for maintaining that
the elasticity. Exactly. It's like a hammock, right? So you need it to be okay. So the thing that I like to, when I remember the days when I was like advising, I say it's like your those days people use scrunchie. I don't know about now.
Today we use scrunchie as well.
You do? Yeah. Okay, so when you use it too often, you keep pulling at it, right? Then one day it doesn't
go back.
Yeah, it doesn't go back. So it's similar sort of concept.
I'm sure ladies would know what that means. we all have owned some sort of rubber band or scrunchie before.
Yes.
Okay, and let's say if you want to do something about it, maybe first question is, there are different stages.
Yes.
There is probably the early stage when it's just very initial. What can they do, and when is it too late for them?
Okay, I brought up the point about prevention. So, I mean, there is a subspecialty of physiotherapists that does this, and then they call themselves the pelvic floor physiotherapy. So I think this group of physiotherapists are able to help, I think, the women with their Kegel exercises, so to strengthen the muscle. Just say if you really have symptoms like incontinence or notice some sort of like very mild pelvic organ prolapse, then they can come and see us, for example. And we have ways, a lot of kind of like machines or like to help to strengthen the pelvic floor. Besides just say the Kegel, we have a lot of machines that help like to stimulate Kegel exercises.
Okay.
And we also have like machines to help to strengthen the vaginal wall, things like that.
And on the hormonal side, is there anything that one can do? Okay,
so that one will be something that I would like to do other things first, and then that will be probably my last resort. One of things they can consider is they can insert some sort of hormonal therapy like estrogen, like a cream, for example. That would be called like a topical hormone replacement therapy. That would be something I would choose first.
Okay.
Because it can help with like dry vagina, and it can also help with other symptoms. But the systemic one will be something that will be really, I will only consider after I have done everything else.
Because the everything else that you're referring to is the exercise and the prevention that can help to quite a large extent already.
Yes.
Is that
I would probably think that it's also a safer, because when you do the systemic hormone replacement therapy, there are a few things that we need to go through. Whereas if you do like machines, or you do like you see a physiotherapist, it's a little bit more less of a risk or less of a side effect. Yes,
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is an approach that is very comfortable for most people, where it's holistic first,
exactly,
safe first before we go for anything a bit more intense, I would say. So earlier you mentioned something which is very interesting, which is dry vagina, right? So vaginal dryness is also kind of like a menopausal kind of symptom?
Yes, it is. Even in perimenopause, you have these symptoms. So for dry vagina, usually I can start them on topical hormone replacement therapy.
Okay.
But if for those who are not keen, or other options, usually the machines. So there are machines out there to help to build the collagen, and then it makes the vaginal wall less dry, for example. Yeah.
Okay. I would be curious to find out, like, is it when would it be too late for like someone to kind of seek help for pelvic floor issues?
Okay, so generally we grade the pelvic floor muscles, prolapse, I call it prolapse, in grades.
Okay.
So obviously the higher the grade, the more severe it is. So if the grade is the last grade, then surgery is the only option left. But we try not to wait until there. So that's why we're doing this, right? If we are talking about this, so that the people are aware that this may occur, and they should always try all these first steps, so like prevention. See their pelvic floor physiotherapists, do some machines to help to strengthen the pelvic floor. And even lifestyle changes.
Yeah, would also help, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as every human being would love to have like options available for you, instead of leaving it to like the only last option available.
Yeah, exactly. Because surgery is also has its risk, as you all know. So it's something that we try to hold off as much as we can first, before we go down.
Is there an age perhaps that that is generally too late?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I believe that if women even in the 50s and the 60s, right, they can come and see us. As long as if they don't reach, I told you the severity stage, they are able to see the physiotherapist, for example, or even to do machines with us. I think there's no limit.
There's no age limit, basically. It's really dependent on how severe your condition is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the message is very clear from Dr. Su. early is better than late. In this case, we want to make sure we prevent rather than cure or leave ourselves with just one option. So remember to do your Kegels today.
Yes.
That's all we have today,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Su.
Thank you,
Thank you so much for sharing. And we hope that this is useful for you in terms of like improving your knowledge about pelvic floor and menopause.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking that, hey, that's me that you're talking about, please know that you're not alone and there's help and there's support that's available for you. And if you found this episode useful and all the sharing that Dr. Su has done has helped you, please share this with your friend, your mom, your sister, your auntie, or whoever that might find this useful. Don't forget to also follow us at Prologue to Wellness on Instagram and stay tuned for more episodes.